Namaste students. So students, today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter number 13, British rule in India. So from the name you must have now just guessed that what are we going to study in this chapter. Yes students, we are going to study about the Britishers, about the British rule in India. We all have heard, we all have seen in the movies and in various stories that the Britishers ruled in the India for around 200 years in the past. Yes, 200 years, that much big time. So students, in this chapter we will study all these things about this rule, that how were the Indians facing problems in this period of the Britishers rule, and how do we get independence then in 1947, we all know that, right? So what were their fights, right, and who were the famous leaders who helped us in this fight and in this getting independence, right? So yes, we are going to start this topic. In the first, I told you that the Britishers ruled in India for around 200 years, right? So the first point is that Britishers ruled in India for about 200 years. 200 years, and we got independence in 1947, right? 1947, and various leaders helped us in this. We fought by the means of peace and also with aggressive means to get independence. We all know, we have heard about Gandhi ji, who just took the peaceful way to get independence, and the Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, all these fighters, right, who took the way of aggressive means to get this independence. So the first topic, the very first topic of this chapter is coming of East India Company, right? So students, in this topic, the coming of East India Company, you all must be thinking that we are talking about the Britishers rule, right? How they came, how they ruled India, but what is this East India Company then? So students, when these Britishers came in India, right? When they came in India, they came under this name, East India Company. A few merchants arrived, a group of merchants, a group of traders arrived India with their trading rights, right? They came here to do trade, to business under this name of the company, East India Company. That was just a small group of traders at first, right? So this rule, when the Britishers came, all this story, for all of us it is like a story, right? But at that time, for people living at that time, it was a period of great exploitation, and it was a very tough time, right? So this story, when the East India Company came and they just conferred all their rights of India, that started in 1600 AD. It started in 1600 AD. Now here students, you all know that years are written in numbers. 1600, that is a number, right? But what is AD here? What is AD? So AD is an abbreviation, right? AD is an abbreviation, that means Anno Domini. What is the meaning of this? Anno Domini. So students, this Anno Domini, what is it? It is a Latin word. It is a word in Latin, which means this is related to Jesus Christ, because in the initial times, the era, the world, or the time period, it was divided in two categories. What were those two categories? AD and BC, right? So AD means Anno Domini and BC means before Christ. Before Christ means before the birth of Jesus Christ, right? BC means before the birth of Jesus Christ. And AD means after Jesus Christ was born. Some people also say this AD as after that, but that is not a correct, that is just a misconception. This means after the birth of Jesus Christ, right? So they divided this time period divided this time period according to the year of Lord, according to the year of their God, that was Jesus Christ. So AD means in the year of Lord. You can also see this word in various books or on Google. So AD means in the year of Lord. Because the people at that time, they considered that Jesus Christ, Latin people, they considered that Jesus Christ acted as a new era, a new revolution in the world. So they divided the time into two categories, one before the birth of Jesus Christ and one after the birth of Jesus Christ. So 1600 AD means 1600 after Jesus Christ was born, right? So this is all detail about AD, means Anno Domini, that means in the year of Lord. So what is the meaning of 1600 AD? 1600 AD means 1600 years after the Jesus Christ was born, right? So what is the meaning of it? After Jesus Christ was born, right? So students, all this was just an extra information because I saw this word AD. Now coming back to the chapter, coming of East India Company, they came in India at around 1600 AD, right? So after that, when they came, I told you that a group of merchants arrived in India under the name of East India Company. So what is the first point? That in 1600 AD, a group of merchants, or you can say a group of traders. In Hindi, traders means Vyapari, those people who come in the country for business. So group of merchants came in India under the name of this company, East India Company, right? So students, after this, when they came, they had these trading rights for around 15 years only. They got these trading rights from the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, who was the queen at that time. Queen of England was Queen Elizabeth at that time. She gave these merchants the trading rights for around 15 years only. Trading rights of 15 years only. Right? Now you can yourself estimate the difference that they had these rights for 15 years and they ruled in India for around 200 years. What is this huge difference, right? So what is the responsible factors? What are the responsible factors for this? That they came for 15 years and ruled in India for 200 years. So all the major activities we will study in this chapter. Right? So they came in India with the trading rights with the permission of Queen Elizabeth for 15 years, and first of all they don't come themselves, they just sent a messenger, they sent an ambassador. So I'll just rub it. They sent a messenger, or you can say they sent an ambassador to India. Ambassador means messenger. They sent the messenger who was a traveler named as Sir Thomas, right? He was named as Sir Thomas Roy. This person came to India with this permission of Queen Elizabeth for the trading rights of East India Company. And when he came, so the major emperor, the king of India, that time the Mughal used to rule in India. So the king of India at that time was a Mughal, or you can say emperor. Emperor of India was a Mughal, and the name of the king was Jahangir, right? So Jahangir used to rule in India, and this person, Sir Thomas Roy, came in his court. He came in his court and just showed this permission of East India Company, and Jahangir allowed him to set up some factories, right? He allowed him to set up some factories only in a few towns. So here the trading started. Here the trading of East India Company in India started with setting up of a few factories only. So these factories were first developed in only a few cities or in a few towns. So he gave them to permission to set up factories in Surat, right? The very first factory they set up in Surat. After that in Calcutta, which is known as Kolkata nowadays, and Madras, which is nowadays called as Chennai, right? The East India Company set up their godowns, their factories in these three cities, where what they do, they just collected the raw material from Indian farmers or the Indian workers. They collected the raw material and kept in these factories. Then they will send those raw material to the Europe, right, for their trade or for the making of goods, right. So students, because they came for trade, right, they came for trade, but they were not the first people to come in India for trade, because at that time India used to be a very rich country. India was famous for its spices, for its pearls, jewels, right. So India used to be a very rich country. So various people used to come for trade in India. Now before these Britishers, before the people of this England, various other traders came in India. So who were the other traders? Now the first country that used to come, that came in India, was the Portuguese people, right. Those were these Portuguese people. After that the Dutch people came, and after that the French people came in India for trade. Now after all these people, these Britishers came. Now there were so much traders in the Indian market that it led to a competition. Obviously there are so many traders, right. So this led to a competition in between them, and a tough fight took place. Now the Britishers were the winner in this fight. The Britishers just conquered over these Portuguese, Dutch and French people. So students, when they came, the Portuguese people came, you must have heard a name, Vasco da Gama. He was the first person to come in India for trade. The name of the person is Vasco da Gama, right. He was a Portuguese person and he came first in India. After that all this trade started. So he was responsible for the trade started in India with the outer countries. So students, after these, when they just conquered this battle among all the fighters, among all the traders in India, the Britishers after that gained some confidence, right. They gained confidence and they started expanding their rule in India, expanding their business in India. So what is the next topic? This was the coming of East India Company. After that, you must have now just guessed that the next topic is expanding of East India Company, that how they expanded their role in India, right. So the next topic is expanding of East India Company. So for now in the story we have just discussed that how they came in India, how they conquered over all the traders and just removed that tough fight in among the Indian market, right. And yes, so the next is expansion. Now we will write it as expansion of British rule. That is more appropriate because now their thinking changed. They thought of ruling over India, right. The thought of developing a rule over India. So the topic should be like expansion of British rule. Because after this fight among traders, when the Britishers won the fight, they just gained some confidence and their thinking changed. So students, after this, what did they do? They they had their factories in a few towns. Now after this, they started building some forts. So what are forts in Hindi called as Kile? They started building some forts. They started building forts and they used to keep army also there. And they said that we are keeping this army for our products, for our goods that we keep in forts for their protection, right. So what they do, they started keeping army in these forts. right? And what they do, they used to just take Indian people and train them. They used to train Indian soldiers and keep them in these forts for protection, right? So the major, so at this point, a king, a very brave king of Bengal, he realized that there is something fishy, there is something very messy. That means he just realized the thoughts of East India Company. Who was the person? He was a king of Bengal, and Bengal used to be a very rich, very you can say very rich kingdom at that time. So the king of Bengal, he was named as Nawab Sirajuddaulah, right? So the name was Nawab Sirajuddaulah. He was the king of Bengal at that time, Nawab Sirajuddaulah. He just realized the thoughts of this East India Company, and he had a fight with this company because he was not at all happy with this, that they are building forts in their kingdom. So they had a fight that is known as Battle of Plassey. Battle means fight, and Plassey was just a small town in Bengal. So in the Battle of Plassey, this king and his army fought against this East India Company, their bad intentions of East India Company, and this Battle of Plassey, it took place in 1757. Now students, in this fight, the Bengal king, he was having a very huge and a very powerful army, right? So there was no chance of their like the Britishers winning. There was no chance of the Britishers winning. So what did they do? They just planned a conspiracy. Conspiracy in Hindi means sazish. They just tried just to cover the bad means, and they planned a conspiracy against the king of this Bengal, Nawab Sirajuddaulah. And what they do, they just planned bad against this king with the help of the chief of Indian army, the chief of the army of Bengal. So what was the name of this army chief? The name was Mir Jafar. He cheated against his army and he helped the Britishers to win. So Mir Jafar, who was the Mir Jafar? He was the army chief of Bengal, right? He was the army chief of Bengal. So he helped the Britishers, and as a result, what happened in the Battle of Plassey, the Bengal people, the Bengal army and this Bengal king Sirajuddaulah, they just got defeated. They got defeated, and as a result, what happened? The Britishers, the East India Company took over Bengal, right? They took over Bengal. After this, again, this Battle of Plassey, a next fight among the people of, again, this Bengal king, the kings of Bengal and the East India Company. Again a battle took place, a fight took place, that was named as Battle of Buxar, right? That was named as Battle of Buxar, and it took place in 1764. See, in this fight also, the Britishers won. So after these two fights, the Britishers gained a lot of confidence, and these two fights acted as a turning point in the history of India, because after this, the Britishers just started taking rule over various kingdoms, various small towns and various cities of India, right? So just they started taking control over that, and it started exploitation of India, the exploitation of Indian farmers. So students, in the next class, we will study in detail that how this exploitation took place, right? How the Indian farmers started suffering and what were the impacts of India in that after these fights and after the Britishers started ruling India, right? So all this is done for today. Just go through this and just read it like a story, right? So that there is no need to cram things, right? So these two fights were very important in the Indian history, okay? So just go through this and go through this chapter in the book also. It's very important. Till then, namaste, take care.